Hey, Magic fans and gamers alike. What's up? This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. It's happened. Funko's in a downward spin into oblivion. Before we talk about it, though, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps keep the channel sponsor free. This was published on August 8th. I didn't even know this was happening. It's been, I don't want to say people are hiding it, but let's just say um, when I went to Google search this, I had to really get Pacific, Pacific, Pacific. We're gonna do Pacific because it's not Mediterranean waters. Anyway, uh, I had to get real, like almost to the word for these articles to come up. Like I typed in Funko News, this was nowhere in there in my Google search. Now maybe I don't know how to Google, but I'm pretty sure that since I watched or seen this from one of my friends on my phone or my computer at some point over the middle of the week and I wanted to talk about it, I figured the algorithm would have picked up on that and it would have been like, oh yeah, here's the thing you want because we already know you've been there. But anyway, so I had to type in Funko layoffs to get to this. So August 7th, so Funko's announced they're going to cut staff by 12%. That's 180 employees. This because in Q2 their sales reports are down 24%. So as you guys know, before we talked about, right here is a good picture of your favorite Funkos. And I'm not gonna lie, I love Deku. He's the man. But we talked about before about how these are not really collectible, not because they can't be collectible, but because of poor business management and uh, running it into the dirt. It really reflects a lot on Magic and how the reprint equity and them shoving product down our throat is affecting their sales and people rejecting them as well. What's happened here is they've made, if you remember, so many Funko Pops that they actually destroyed them in landfills. Meaning, any Funko Pop that went to the landfill, if you went to the landfill, people are like, oh, well, they destroyed it, so it's not collectible. No, no, no. It's not collectible because nobody bought it. Therefore, they had to destroy the rest. Which kind of goes back to that. Well, if we reprint everything and then everything is cheap, then it's great, right? No, it's not great. Here we have people losing their jobs. Things that people thought would be worth money or invest in or thought were cool are now actually worthless. So not only is that a problem, but also remember you're wasting your money on these things. Uh, just like I mean, old video games have more value than these at the moment, which is sad because the video game market's in shambles as well. But this is where we're headed if people don't understand supply, demand, and to make something collectible, and if it has collectible in the title, there must be limited print runs. You can't just be like, oh, we can just keep making it because people will keep buying it. That's not collectability. The market has to have demand for it to be worth something. You must then move on to something else and make it collectible in your product line. For example, with Magic, serialized cards were a good start. Now they need to find something else. With Funko, they were doing really good making all these different Funko Pops, but they made so many that this is the ultimate response to it. So a lot of things have also happened because of this that I think we should talk about to kind of uh, we won't be able to silence the naysayers because there's always going to be people. I know I have a lot of friends who like Funko Pops and have a bunch of them, and they told me how much money they make at it and why they buy them and all this, that, and the other. I hope they see this stuff, and they've probably made money at some point, but making money doing something doesn't justify the fact, hey, I made $500 while collecting these. If you spent $5,000, for example, you made 500 profit through your inventory, but you have $5,000 of it left over, or even say you spent $5,000 and you made $2,000, $3,000 on your stuff, plus you have that leftover inventory. Well, if you don't make any more money, you still lose $2,000, and that's what's happening here. So, down here it says here the Funko Pop vinyl figurine bobbleheads are displayed during 2019 Comic Con. Well, that's really going back. The company anticipates job cuts will lead to 20 million in incremental annualized savings, and that's only if people keep buying them. People don't want to see this in their collectible markets. So So amid continuing sales declines and surplus inventory issues, we've seen this in Magic. This is what people need to be afraid of. The toy company has announced laying off 12% of its workforce during a company release. Job cuts are a result of company rationalizing its product lines to focus more on products and businesses that are most productive. So let me finish this. The Chief Funko Operating Officer, CFO, Steve Nave, said on a call with investors Thursday. So I want you to realize one thing. These layoffs are at Funko for the Funko Pops. Funko has other businesses that they have bought or invested in, and it's helping those businesses become more solvent because as a whole company, those make money, Funko Pop doesn't. And I'm not going to get into the details of that. You can go look up all the businesses they own. I forget what they are. I really don't care. It's not stuff I'm interested in. But that's something to think about. It's not saying the Funko Pop brand is going to now make money. The company as a whole will start to make more money. So the layoffs come as Funko Pop reports second quarter net sales fell by 24% year over year to $240 million, while it swung to a net loss of $75.9 million from a profit of $15.8 million. That's almost a $100 million swing from the same period last year. The company gross fell in Q2 to 29.2%. From 32.7. So it's known for pop culture inspired figurines, a number of initiatives aimed at cost cutting. In addition to enacting layoffs, the company is cutting back on product after surplus inventory strained its fulfillment network in the fourth quarter last year, forcing the brand to destroy between $30 and $36 million of inventory. At the time, the company's inventory was up 48%. If that's not a red light or a red flag or a sign for you guys who want to invest and think it's collectible, I think you're not reading it right. And you need to go back to school and get off Common Core. But anyway, the company has made excellent progress on the disposal. It's made good progress on the disposal of inventory. In other words, they did a real good job of throwing it in the trash, which has enabled us to process customer orders more quickly, eliminate certain retailed storage costs, container rental charges. He said this in a statement. So not only do they have too much product, but their supply chain sucks. I know we all love Magic and Secret Lair and how it used to take 5 to 6 months to get your product. Imagine that with a Funko Pop. Completely uncalled for. And that makes you not want to buy it because if you can't get it on hand, why even bother? So, latest developments come on the heels of Funko Pop's CEO, Brian Mariotti, announcing in July that he was taking a leave of absence. And then it's now said that he's stepping down as chief executive role. He succeeded on an interim basis as board member, Michael Lunsford. He's been with the company for a while, but again, when the ship's sinking, these are the people you should really be hammering because the guys that the 180 people they're laying off, it is not their fault. They did what they were told to do by management, which was build and make Funko Pops. They should get to keep their job, and the CEO should lose his. And then that money you would pay the CEO, I'm positive, would easily pay for 180 employees to do something productive. But let's not go there. Because heaven forbid we do what's right and actually make people pay for running their business like shit. Anyway, our fans and partners demand that we be quick to market, again, supply chain issues, to the rapidly changing pop culture, nimble, creative in our production designs, yada, yada, yada. Over the past 2 years, we lost sight of the importance of these competencies. As a result, the product lines have grown rapidly, bringing too much complexity to the business with too little return. Again, not knowing how to run a business. We believe that the best path forward is to focus their energy on fewer product lines and fewer SKUs. There you go. Cut production. If you want it to be collectible, you can't run it into the dirt until everybody has one, because it's not a collectible because everybody has one. And brief summary on that, just so you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. If you make a bunch and then everybody has one, when the next ones come out, nobody buys them because they'll know they'll always be there and they can get them. If you make a product line, make a little FOMO by saying, hey, we're only going to make these many pieces, they become scarce and collectible to some degree, making people say when you make your next product line, hey, we're going to make these and we're only going to make X amount, people are going to buy them up. And then you can either raise the price, raise your product lines, or whatever until eventually you find that sweet spot, which is not what people do nowadays. They just print it in the dirt. Anyway, the company expects the actions of inventory and production reduction plus layoffs to lead to $38 million in annualized savings. So, of which $20 million is related to job cuts. So I have an issue here. I have a serious issue. This is a bold-faced, blatant lie. If you're telling me 180 employees make $20 million a year, A, you can't run a business because you don't know how to pay your employees, and you have too many people working in your process who's not value add, or B, you think everybody who's reading these numbers are just dumb. Let me pull up the old calculator for you guys here. So let's see. $20 million, that's a lot of zeros. So there's 20 million, I think. Yeah, 20 million. Divide that by 180 employees. In the course of a year, all those employees are making six figures. That is absurd. I'm not saying people shouldn't be paid for their talents and what they do, but clearly, these people have no idea what they're doing, how to pay people, or scope. Because I'm telling you right now, a factory worker isn't making six figures putting together Funko Pops. It's not how it's going down. And I'm betting you most of this 180 million are just the factory workers because they even said they're shutting down production lines. So let's not go there. Math is not that hard. Anyway, lowered its full-year outlook. The company is now expected to sell between 105 billion to 112 billion. Previously projected 119 to 126. I don't think this is the end of this story. I think we're going to see more cuts as inflation has impacted everybody. They don't want to spend money on this stuff. Interest rate and banks and all that stuff have better rate of returns than collectibles currently, which is what's really hurting the collectible market in the long run. And I think this isn't the end of the story. This has only been a few months, and we getting more. A few months after they disposed of $1 million of inventory, CEO steps down. Now we have layoffs. I don't think this is the end of the road. We're probably going to hear more. There may not be more layoffs or whatever, but there's going to be some serious Q3 issues along with everything else. Because don't forget, Wizards announced their earnings, and they're down as well. So everybody's upset about inflation, the cost of products, and poor business practices, i.e., can't get your product out because of supply chain, or just pissing on the customer because you just want to take their money. Don't think that because you don't care about them that it won't ruin your business. So, well, at the end of the day, guys, I find it very interesting. Put some comments down below what you think. Do you know of anybody else doing stuff like this? Have you heard anything else on the grapevine? It's very interesting conversations about business. You have Bud Light, you have this. There's all kinds of companies who basically got a big money infusion with the lockdowns and all that stuff, and now it looks like the birds are coming home to roost, and it's not good for anybody. So until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.